Hey everyone, it is Danny and welcome to this update video this morning. I hope that you're all doing really wonderful, and so we'll be taking a look at what to expect as we head throughout today. There is that major rainfall increase across the Eastern Caribbean, and yesterday it induced so much flooding, a lot of heavy rainfall across many areas. Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada. I have been seeing the comments, keep them coming, and I really appreciate you guys sharing what's happening so that we can know what's actually going on there. So as I said, we'll be taking a look at what to expect throughout today, and we'll also go on over into the Pacific very briefly, where there's tropical storm Adrian, possibly going to be a hurricane as we head to later today. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. Okay guys, and so let's now go ahead and take a look at what is going on. We're starting out with the Eastern Pacific. So there is Invest 92E to the southeast of Adrian. So that disturbance, they're still given a very high chance to develop, and it could become a named storm very soon. So it will likely be accelerating to the northwest over the next couple of days. And so going on to Adrian now, here we can see that on our satellite, the cyclone is looking pretty organized right now, and it's just bursting with activity. So it has intensified since yesterday, and the current sustained winds are now at 65 miles per hour, and it is moving westward at 9 miles per hour. So by later today, it should become a hurricane. However, it is not likely going to be maintaining hurricane intensity for a very long time, or even become a strong hurricane, as it will be encountering some unfavorable conditions. And by the early part of the new week, by Sunday, it could be downgraded back to a tropical storm and gradually weaken and eventually dissipate thereafter, but not a threat to land as of right now. And so now let's go ahead and jump over into the Atlantic Basin. And here we can see that there is quite a bit of activity noted across some areas along the intertropical convergence zone. There's lots of showers and thunderstorms. We even have a tropical wave in the area, and there's another tropical wave that is in the Caribbean right now. And so we can see all of that activity in the east, which has been inducing lots of rainfall, even some flooding across some areas yesterday, as I said in the first part of this video. So lots of flooding, lots of rainfall, and unfortunately it is likely going to be continuing as we head throughout today. So let's take a closer look at the area, and here we can see that most islands in the east are likely experiencing some cloud cover at least, or even some rainfall, and more of this shower and thunderstorm activity is going to be developing, especially as we head into the afternoon, and thus a lot of rainfall is likely, and as I said, there is that chance of flooding as well. Now other areas are also expected to receive some more rainfall. For example, going to sections of the northern Leeward Islands that did not receive much rainfall yesterday, Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, there wasn't a whole lot of rainfall. For some areas there wasn't really any, but today that chance is going to be elevated for you guys to receive some rainfall. So I've seen the comments from you guys. The area is deprived of any real rainfall activity, and thus an increase in rainfall would be greatly appreciated. However, a major increase would lead to flooding, which would do more harm than good. So hopefully there will be enough to help to combat the dry, hot conditions that you guys have been experiencing, but not too much to result in damage. Now in the vicinity of the ABC Isles for Curacao and Bonaire, there is a bit of activity, but nothing much to say some persistent rainfall. So that's not happening right now for the ABC Isles, unfortunately, because I know that you guys have been longing for a good downpour over there. Going over into the Western Caribbean, let's drift a bit more to the west here, and we can see that for Central America, there is some activity right now across some parts of Belize and along sections of Honduras and El Salvador right there, and even for the most northwesterly side of Nicaragua. Over in Guatemala and Mexico, we also see some activity, but nothing too intense. And for the Cayman Islands, nothing much going on. Similar story for Jamaica, at least some cloud cover, maybe with some morning showers across some areas. Cuba is in the clear for the most part, a bit of activity across southern Hispaniola and some spots of the Bahamas, but as of right now, nothing major happening. Let's go on to the rainfall that is expected by the different models here. So we're starting out with GFS. If you're not familiar with this, the more colorful this becomes, especially going to the darker shade of red, that is where a lot of rainfall activity is expected. So the more colorful it is, the more rainfall is expected across the different areas. And so we can see here that throughout the day, GFS is expecting a lot of rainfall across the Eastern Caribbean for most of Hispaniola, which comprises Haiti and the Dominican Republic, going to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, as well as most of the Lesser Antilles, going from Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, South Florida to Guadeloupe, going all the way down to Grenada. Likely there's going to be a lot of rainfall across the area. Barbados, Trinidad, Tobago also expected to receive some substantial rainfall through today, and parts of Northern South America as well. Going over into Central America, a lot of rainfall is likely across some areas, but some decreased totals. As what I mentioned yesterday, there is that tropical wave which is making its way further from the area, and hence there is going to be less rainfall activity. For the Cayman Islands, though, not much is expected through today. Maybe there will be some rainfall for some spots of Cuba and the Bahamas, but going to Jamaica, notice that we see that yellow and red shade, especially for the central and eastern side of the island here. So pretty interesting what the GFS is expecting. Could the island receive a lot of rainfall? Certainly possible. But going on to the Euro, Euro is showing a lot less rain for the island, still showing that there will be some rainfall that might be heavy at times. So if you're going out, especially in the afternoon, ensure that you have your umbrella, ensure that you have a jacket, and be safe out there. And then over in the Eastern Caribbean, the Lesser Antilles, even going to Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, Euro is agreeing with the GFS in terms of all of that expected rainfall in the area as we head throughout today. And we see that Northern South America also expected to receive a lot of rainfall all the way from Colombia going to French Guiana, and then from many areas in Central America as well. So we see that these models are pretty much in agreement for the most part. Just some differences in how much rainfall is expected for some areas, but for the most part, the same general area is expected to receive rainfall as we progress throughout today. And so, guys, that flooding is most certainly still possible across the areas expected to receive a lot of heavy rainfall. And as I said in the intro of this video, areas such as Barbados received lots of rain, even some flooding across some areas. And so I implore you to all stay safe as best as you can as you head throughout today, and do not take any unnecessary risks. And so, of course, I'll continue to keep you posted, and I'll be posting another update video later this evening as per usual, just to bring you guys up to date with what is happening across the area. So stay tuned for that, and that is pretty much it for right now. And so I hope that you found this update to be quite informative, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will respond as best and as soon as I can. And as always, remember to be weatherwise.